Chosen one, listen closely. Everything around you seems ordinary, but heaven is interrupting the noise right now to reach you directly. This is not a coincidence. This is divine timing. You are standing at the threshold of awakening, where the unseen hand of God begins to pull back the veil over your destiny. You have been marked for this moment since before you even knew His name. The reason your heart is restless, the reason nothing seems to satisfy, is because your spirit has outgrown the limits of this world. You have felt the shaking within you, the quiet storm that makes you question your place, your purpose, your very existence. That's not confusion. That's your spirit remembering heaven's language. You were never meant to blend in. Every sleepless night, every battle that broke you, every tear that fell unseen, it was never wasted. Heaven was watching. God was writing purpose in the pain, molding strength in the silence, teaching your soul how to stand when everything else falls apart. The Spirit spoke long ago, and its echo reaches you now. It was proclaimed in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14. Awake, you who sleep, arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. This is your call to rise. This is heaven's alarm sounding in your spirit, telling you it's time to awaken from spiritual slumber. You've been surrounded by noise, by distraction, by the counterfeit comforts of this world, but inside you burns a light that refuses to die. That light is divine, and today, heaven commands it to shine again. You have been walking through a valley of delay and confusion, but the truth is, your delay was not denial. God has been aligning things behind the curtain of your life. What felt like abandonment was actually preparation. You were hidden because you were being sharpened. The isolation you endured was heaven's classroom. Every wound became a doorway to wisdom, every rejection a realignment toward destiny. Do not mistake quiet seasons for forgotten ones. God's silence is never absence, it's strategy. He was waiting for the moment when your heart would finally stop running and start listening. That moment is now. This message is not meant to entertain you. It's meant to awaken you. The Spirit of God is stirring inside you even as you read these words. You feel it, don't you? That warmth, that pressure, that holy trembling. That's not emotion, it's recognition. Your soul recognizes its commander's voice. You are being summoned, not as a spectator, but as a warrior. You are not meant to chase approval, you are meant to carry authority. The battles that nearly destroyed you were never meant to kill you. They were meant to reveal the fire within you. Every time you got back up, the darkness trembled. You didn't even realize it. But your resilience has been a weapon. You have survived what others could not because your story is not supposed to end in survival, it's meant to birth revival. The world around you is shifting. Heaven is recruiting voices that will not bow to fear, hearts that will not compromise truth. You are one of them. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. God can work with weakness. He cannot work with resistance. That is why He's breaking the chains that made you comfortable. Why everything that once satisfied now feels hollow. You are being drawn out of the ordinary and into the divine. This is your awakening, your crossing point. Heaven is opening a new chapter over your life, one written with fire, purpose, and power. Do not let doubt silence your response. You've heard so many voices in your life, voices of fear, shame, insecurity, but this one is different. This one carries weight. This one carries peace. It carries the breath of the one who called light out of darkness, and now He's calling that same light out of you. The time for hesitation is over. You cannot go back to sleep after hearing this. You cannot pretend you didn't feel that surge in your chest. Heaven has just placed a demand on your destiny, and your only right response is obedience. The moment you say yes, things begin to move. Chains break, clarity comes, doors open. This is not hype, it's alignment. The spiritual atmosphere is waiting for your agreement. So if your heart bears witness right now, respond. Heaven is watching for the chosen ones who still hear the voice of the Spirit. Share this message to awaken another soul, and if you know deep down that this word was sent for you, then act on it. Show your obedience not by words, but by declaration. Comment 777 below 3 sevens, heaven's number of divine completion and confirmation. Let it be a prophetic sign that you are awake, aligned, and ready. This is not just another moment online. This is a divine encounter. You are being awakened from the dust of distraction, from the weight of confusion, from the sleep of fear. You are rising. You are shining. You are stepping into the identity heaven always intended. The call has been released, now the choice is yours. You were never ordinary, and that truth has always unsettled you. From a young age, you felt the difference, though you couldn't explain it. The world around you moved in rhythm, but your soul marched to a divine tempo. You tried to quiet it, to fit in, to shrink the brightness of your inner light so you wouldn't draw attention, but heaven never designed you for blending. You were created to stand apart, not above others, but before them, as a living testimony of what divine selection looks like in human form. Every place you didn't fit was confirmation of your distinction. Every misunderstanding was heaven's reminder that you were not called to be understood, but to be revealed. The reason your energy disrupts comfort zones is because you carry something not of this world. When you walk into a room, spirits recognize you even if people do not. That's why some reject you before you speak. Their darkness senses your light. The unease you feel among crowds isn't social anxiety, it's spiritual awareness. You were wired to discern atmospheres that others ignore. There were moments when you asked, "Why can't I just be normal?" But normal is too small for what lives in you. God did not craft you with divine fingerprints just for you to fade into patterns of convenience. Every frustration, every season where you questioned your identity has been the sculpting process of heaven. The Creator never molds in comfort, He refines in fire. The pressure you've endured wasn't punishment, it was formation. It was heaven chiseling away everything that did not look like purpose. Chosen ones are often misunderstood, even by those they love. That's because your process is private, but your purpose is public. Those around you see fragments of what you carry, but only God sees the blueprint. You may have felt overlooked, but you were actually hidden on purpose. Like a seed beneath the soil, your isolation was proof that something alive was growing. The darkness wasn't burial, it was incubation. There's a holy loneliness that accompanies being chosen. It's not the loneliness of absence, it's the solitude of preparation. The crowd cannot follow where you are going because their vision is not equipped for your altitude. The higher you climb, the fewer voices can breathe in that air. That's not rejection, it's refinement. God trims the noise around His chosen because destiny cannot be birthed in distraction. You are not losing people, you are gaining focus. Think back on every time you were misunderstood, dismissed, or betrayed. Those experiences were sacred tutors, teaching you discernment. You learned who you could trust, not by conversation but by revelation. God allowed people to show you their hearts so you would know who to carry forward and who to release. The chosen cannot carry everyone, they must walk light, for the calling is heavy. The weight of your assignment demands space, clarity, and obedience. The ancient record in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 16, declares, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. Before anyone recognized you, heaven already did. You existed in divine thought before you existed in human time. You were known, chosen, and prepared long before the world could label you. The storms that tried to drown you were secretly building endurance in your faith. You thought you were being shattered, but you were being strengthened. There's a resilience inside you that can't be taught, it's inherited from heaven. Every scar you carry is sacred. They are proof of battles survived, not wounds unhealed. Your story is not just about survival, it's a divine narrative of redemption. Stop apologizing for being different. Stop downplaying your fire to make others comfortable. The world needs the authenticity you've been hiding. The power of your difference is your divine signature. The same hand that wrote stars into existence wrote your name into his plan, and no force on earth can erase that script. You were never meant to walk in the shadows, you were designed to carry light into them. You are entering a season where your difference becomes your direction. What once isolated you will now identify you. The very qualities that made you feel misplaced will open doors no one else can touch. You are stepping into divine visibility. Your light is no longer hidden beneath fear or doubt. Heaven is preparing platforms you didn't apply for and opportunities you didn't chase. Everything that once resisted you will now recognize you. The timing of God is perfect, and the delay was divine protection. Now, the same silence that once hurt you will become the sound of unveiling. Walk boldly into this next season. Do not look back, and do not explain yourself to those who refuse to see your value. What is ahead of you is holy ground. Heaven has written your next chapter in fire, and your obedience will turn it into testimony. Rise, you were chosen for this. The battles you fought in silence were never random. Every storm that rose against you had purpose written inside it. The enemy saw glimpses of what you carry long before you did. That's why the warfare started early, even before your full awakening. You weren't attacked because you were weak. You were attacked because you were marked. The resistance you faced was confirmation that heaven placed something eternal inside you. You've walked through nights so dark that hope seemed like a rumor. Yet somehow, you're still standing. That's not coincidence, that's evidence. Every sleepless night, every prayer that felt unanswered, every moment you nearly gave up, all of it built the warrior within you. God wasn't ignoring you. He was shaping endurance through your pain. The silence of heaven was the weight of training. You were being refined, not rejected. There were times when people turned their backs and you thought you were forgotten. But isolation is the incubator of revelation. God separated you so he could speak without interference. Every broken relationship, every closed door, every no you didn't understand it all cleared space for your divine assignment. You are walking proof that rejection can be redirection. The very things that tried to bury you became the soil where your roots grew deeper. As recorded in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. This truth echoes across every wound and every war you've endured. The fight was never yours alone. God was standing in the unseen, battling in realms you couldn't perceive. You thought you were losing ground, but heaven was setting traps for the darkness that pursued you. The delays were divine strategy. What you mistook for defeat was preparation for your display. There's a holy confidence rising within you now. The same places that once caused fear will soon bow to your authority. The power of the chosen is not loud, it is consistent. You have learned to move in silence, to fight without announcing your warfare, and that silent endurance has become your crown. You didn't crumble when the pressure came. You absorbed it and turned it into strength. Heaven watched. and now reward is on the way. Still, this message carries a gentle warning: do not return to the versions of you that pain has already outgrown. The temptation to shrink back will come. The enemy will whisper that you've done enough, that you can rest now, but destiny does not bloom in complacency. You must continue. You must remain still in faith, yet fierce in obedience. The next move you make must be led by spirit, not survival. There's a reason your spirit stirs as you read these words. Heaven is confirming that the battle you thought broke you actually birthed you. You are emerging not as a victim, but as a vessel, one refined by the fires of affliction and trusted with the mysteries of God. The wisdom you carry now was purchased through warfare. You no longer speak from theory. You speak from scars that shine with victory. This is your turning point. The chapter of struggle is closing, and the season of manifestation begins. But before heaven releases the next level, it asks for your declaration. Speak life. Agree with the word that has just been spoken over you. When you type your response, it is not for engagement, it is for alignment. Your words release power into the unseen. Comment "I rise now." Type it as a declaration, not as habit. Each letter you write shakes the residue of your past and anchors you in divine purpose. When you say "I rise now," you're telling heaven you accept the assignment, and you're telling hell that the battle is over. This is not just a statement, it's a sound of resurrection from the spirit of the chosen. You've survived what was meant to silence you. Now you rise to speak what will awaken others. Stand tall. Your scars are not shame, they are signs. Heaven calls you by name, and your journey is not ending, it's beginning in glory. When you write "I rise now," you're not typing letters, you're activating a covenant. It's your soul standing upright after years of being pressed down. Heaven reads that declaration as agreement, a signature in the spirit that says, "I'm done hiding." Each word carries power. When you declare "I rise now," the atmosphere shifts. Angels take notice, and the darkness that once stalked you loses its hold. That sentence becomes a sword, cutting through despair and opening gates of new beginnings before you. So write it with faith, not fear. Let your fingertips prophesy what your heart already knows: the time of survival has ended, and the season of reigning begins. "I rise now" is not a wish, it's heaven's confirmation through your voice. There are moments in your journey when it feels as if the fire is too intense, the pressure too heavy, the silence too long. You wonder if God still remembers your name. You question if the promises whispered over your life were real or simply fragments of your own hope. Yet even in those depths, something in you refuses to let go. That stubborn flicker of faith, that unexplainable endurance, is proof that heaven still holds you in its hand. Your path has never been an easy one, but it has always been a guided one. Every trial has carried purpose disguised as pain. You have walked through waters that should have drowned you and fires that should have consumed you. But here you are, standing, breathing, still believing. You are living evidence that divine protection is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of God within it. Heaven reminds us through the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 2. "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned." That is not poetry, that is promise. And that promise still hovers over your life. You have felt the flames, but they purified rather than destroyed, and you have faced storms, but they revealed strength that could not have surfaced in calm weather. Sometimes God does not remove the storm because He intends to reveal Himself inside it. The thunder, the waves, the shaking, all of it becomes the backdrop for your revelation. In the chaos, you discover a peace not of this world, That is how chosen ones are trained, not in ease, but in endurance. You learn to walk through pain with purpose, to stand when others crumble, to see divine order even when everything looks like disorder. The fire you've endured has changed your scent. You no longer smell of fear or hesitation. You carry the fragrance of survival and surrender. Every scar on your soul is sacred, each one a map that tells the story of transformation. You are no longer who you were before the storm. That old version of you died somewhere in the fire, and what emerged is something stronger, something unbreakable. Understand this: God does not test you to find out what you can handle. He already knows. The testing reveals to you what you're capable of through Him. The wilderness you've been walking through was not designed to destroy you. It was meant to expose what heaven planted inside you. The silence wasn't punishment, it was sacred space, allowing your spirit to listen, to grow, to remember the voice of its maker. Every chosen one must walk a wilderness path. Moses had his desert, David had his caves, Elijah had his loneliness, and even Christ had his 40 days. It's the passage where human strength ends and divine reliance begins. In that place, you learn not to seek escape, but encounter. You realize that God's presence is not confined to comfort. It manifests most powerfully in desolation. That is where you become unshakable. The world sees scars as signs of weakness, but heaven calls them credentials. Each scar is a seal that says, "This one has been tested and trusted." That's why your journey could not be easy, because easy never builds endurance. You were not meant to be fragile. You were forged to be fearless. God did not call you to comfort. He called you to carry light into places others fear to walk. Now that the storm is subsiding, you may feel disoriented. You've spent so long in survival mode that peace feels strange. But this calm is not emptiness, it's transition. You are standing in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. Don't rush to fill the silence, let it speak. Let it settle into your bones as evidence that you made it through. The same fire that refined you has also prepared you. There are new assignments ahead, doors that will open effortlessly because of what you endured faithfully. Your scars are the keys. Your endurance is the qualification. You no longer have to prove your worth. Your survival has already done that. Take a deep breath and acknowledge this truth. You are not the same. You are wiser, deeper, and anchored in something eternal. What once would have broken you now builds you. You have tasted both pain and presence, and that combination has made you unmovable. You don't need validation anymore, you carry revelation. You know who you are and whose you are. So walk forward quietly, not with pride but with certainty. The fire didn't end you, it revealed you. The waters didn't drown you, they carried you. The storm didn't silence you, it taught you the language of heaven. And now, when others tremble, you will stand as proof that divine protection is not a myth, it's your history. You have walked through shadows and storms, and yet you are still here. That alone is proof that something greater keeps breathing through you. Every scar, every moment of silence, every unanswered prayer has shaped a heart that now beats with divine purpose. You are not just surviving anymore, you are transforming. You are becoming the very light you once searched for. The pain you carried was never wasted. The fire that threatened to consume you has instead become the flame that lights your path. Others will find their way by that same light. That's the beauty of being chosen. You become a living lamp in the hands of God. You are no longer a bystander in your own story. You are a vessel of healing. A voice that carries the echo of eternity. The Spirit affirms in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17. for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. That eternal glory is already forming in you. What once broke you is now birthing brilliance. The pain that felt endless is now producing purpose. Every tear was a seed, and now the harvest begins to grow. You may not see it yet, but heaven is aligning everything you lost into something better. The people who left, the doors that closed, the paths that disappeared, they were all divine edits. God was not erasing your story. He was perfecting the chapter. The glory that is coming will make sense of every unanswered why. Now, as your spirit strengthens, you're called to carry that same light forward. The message that found you today is meant to move through you to reach others who are still fighting their silent battles. Each time you share, comment, or speak this truth, you become a messenger of hope. You help someone else realize that they too are chosen. If this message has spoken to your heart, you can help keep it alive. When you like, you pour a drop of oil into the lamp of hope. When you share, you place that lamp in another window. When you subscribe, you keep the flame from going out. Every small gesture sends this light into another night where someone waits for warmth. And if your heart ever stirs to go further, you may choose to donate not as duty but as devotion. Think of it as tending a sacred fire. Every small offering is another log laid upon the altar. Another way to say, let this fire keep burning. You are not giving to a person, you are giving to a purpose, ensuring that the light that reached you continues its journey into other hearts. Subscribing is like standing guard beside a lighthouse. You help the beam stay steady in the storm. Sharing is like tossing a rope into the dark sea for someone else to hold. Donating is like pouring water on roots you may never see bloom. Yet heaven watches every act and calls it love. Your support, in any form, is a quiet miracle. It keeps the echo of encouragement alive, stretching beyond screens into souls. You are not funding words, you are fueling awakening. Every click, every prayer, every gift is a breath of life into this movement of the chosen. And if all you can offer is your prayer, know that it carries equal weight in heaven's scale. There is no demand here, only invitation. The door stands open for anyone who wishes to keep the message shining. The message you just heard was never meant to stop with you. It was meant to ripple outward, like sunlight breaking through a forest canopy. Every share, every like, every whispered prayer is another ray of light stretching farther. Together, we become the reflection of divine kindness, the reminder that love still moves, still heals, still calls. When you move with compassion, heaven multiplies your gesture. When you choose to support, even silently, you are saying, I want this light to reach one more heart, and heaven smiles on that decision. You are part of something sacred now, a network of hearts awakened by the same call. Keep the light alive in whatever way your spirit leads, like share, subscribe, or give. None of it is obligation. All of it is worship through action. So walk forward with peace in your heart. Whether you give, share, or simply pray, you are a vital part of this divine tapestry. Your presence matters. Your kindness matters. And your light, yes. Your light will help someone else remember theirs. Every time you give light, heaven multiplies it. Your smallest act becomes a spark in someone else's darkness. Keep tending the flame. Your kindness today will be the miracle someone remembers tomorrow. You are proof that love still moves. This message is no longer mine, it's ours. Together, we are keepers of fire, guardians of hope. Every share, every prayer, every gift is another heartbeat of light. Let's keep it alive until the world glows again. There are moments when heaven stands still and watches to see how you respond. This is one of those moments. You are standing at a divine crossroads where your next step will echo through eternity. You can feel it in your chest, the weight, the stirring, the undeniable pull that says, this is sacred ground. Everything you've endured has brought you here. The delays, the heartbreaks, the unanswered prayers, they were never punishment. They were preparation. The truth is, destiny is rarely comfortable. It asks for obedience before understanding. It calls you to trust the voice of God even when the path is wrapped in fog. Many hear the call, but few answer it fully. The chosen ones are those who step forward anyway, trembling but willing. You have been given that chance now to choose faith over fear, obedience over hesitation. The voice of truth echoes from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. This is more than a verse. It is a divine invitation. Heaven is saying, the door is open, walk through it. Every act of obedience you make ripples across generations. When you choose life, when you choose alignment, you shift the spiritual atmosphere not just for yourself but for those who come after you. There's a holiness in hesitation, but only for a moment. When God calls, delay becomes disobedience. Mercy lingers, but it does not wait forever. This is not meant to frighten you, it's meant to awaken you. Heaven is patient, but purpose has timing. There are moments when doors open only once. When that happens, the Spirit whispers gently, move now. You may not feel ready. You may think you need to fix everything first, become better, stronger, more qualified. But chosen ones are rarely called when they feel ready. They are called when they are willing. Readiness is not a condition, it's a decision. Heaven is not looking for perfection, it's looking for surrender. And surrender sounds like yes. This is where your next chapter begins, not with clarity, but with trust. The kind of trust that says, even if I can't see the whole path, I'll still take the first step. That single step is faith in motion, and faith in motion is what moves heaven. When you move in obedience, everything else begins to align: the resources, the connections, the open doors, the strength you didn't know you had. You've been waiting for a sign, and this is it. You've been praying for confirmation, and it's right here, wrapped in these words. The same God who guided your steps to this message will guide your steps beyond it. You are not being asked to understand everything, you are being asked to trust the one who does. But understand, this faith must be active. The moment you respond to heaven, the spiritual atmosphere changes. The unseen begins to shift in your favor. There's a divine transaction that happens when your spirit says yes. A release of power, peace, and provision that no human hand can replicate. Heaven does not move through talk, it moves through agreement. So here's your moment of agreement, not for attention, not for appearance, but for alignment. Comment the prophetic number 5555. That number carries the sound of divine transformation, grace multiplied, change ordained, transition sanctified. When you write it, let it be your signature in the Spirit, saying, I choose life, I choose obedience, I choose my calling. This is not superstition, this is symbolism. In heaven's language, numbers are markers of covenant. When you comment 555, you are not performing an act, you are making a declaration that you will no longer run from the weight of your purpose, that you will step boldly into what God has been preparing you for. There is power in prophetic action. When you move, heaven mirrors your movement. The light inside you begins to expand. The path before you begins to clear. Your comment is more than characters on a screen, it's faith in motion. Now breathe deeply. Feel the stillness that follows obedience. That peace washing over you right now is heaven's confirmation that you have chosen well. The moment you obey, confusion breaks, fear loosens, and grace steps in. You've just aligned your life with the rhythm of divine timing. This is your crossroads moment, and you have chosen light. The weight of hesitation is gone. You are walking forward with the certainty that heaven is backing your every step. Every decision from this point will carry new authority. Because you are no longer reacting to life, you are partnering with destiny. When you write 555, you are not typing numbers, you are unlocking alignment. It's your spirit saying, I am ready for transformation. Heaven reads it as surrender and seals it with grace. That simple act becomes a prophetic motion. Each digit echoes through eternity, marking your decision to rise. 555 is your covenant with change, your silent yes to divine movement within you. There is an unseen world moving around you, one far more real than what your eyes can perceive. You have felt it, the shifts in atmosphere, the moments when peace turns to pressure, the sudden heaviness that seems to settle without reason. That is not imagination, it is awareness. You are sensitive to spiritual currents because heaven wired you to discern what others overlook. Being chosen means you see what ordinary eyes cannot. When light enters darkness, there is always resistance. That resistance is not proof of failure, it is confirmation of impact. Every chosen one carries a spiritual presence that unsettles the shadows. Darkness recognizes the mark of God and trembles at it. That's why you face so much opposition, often from places you least expected. The battles that come against you are not random, they are strategic. The greater the calling, the heavier the warfare. You may not have understood why life has felt like an unending fight, why peace often slips through your fingers just when you thought you had found it. But every battle has been training your hands for spiritual war. You were never meant to live unaware of the invisible. God has been teaching you to see through deception, to sense danger before it forms, to recognize truth even when it hides behind lies. As recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. That verse is not a distant promise, it's your daily reality. Every time you should have been destroyed but weren't, angels intervened. Every time the accident missed you. Every time the betrayal didn't break you. Every time the depression didn't drown you. Heaven was fighting for you. You have lived surrounded by unseen warriors, shielded by grace so subtle you only notice it in hindsight. You are a participant in a war that began long before your birth. Good and evil wrestle for influence. Light and shadow collide over destinies. The battlefield is not always external, it's in the mind, the heart, the choices you make when no one is watching. Each decision strengthens one side or the other. Every time you choose integrity over convenience, you push back darkness. Every time you forgive when bitterness would feel easier, you disarm the enemy's plans. This is why your spirit often feels weary. You are not just carrying your own struggles. You are standing between realms. You are an intercessor even when you don't realize it. A spiritual gatekeeper guarding the flow of peace into your family, your home, your generation. That's why the attacks feel personal. They are. The enemy sees what you carry and wants it silenced. But heaven has declared that you are unbreakable. The strength within you is not human endurance, it's divine resilience. Every time you stood back up after being hit, heaven called it victory. You didn't lose those battles. You learned their language. You discovered how to pray when pain became unbearable, how to praise when nothing made sense, how to trust when everything shook. That is what it means to be trained by fire. There are moments when you wonder if the fight will ever end. But remember, this peace is not the absence of battle, it is the awareness of presence. God never promised you an easy path. He promised you His company along it. The same power that split seas and calmed storms is the same power guarding you now. You are never alone, not even in silence. Your discernment is sharpening. You'll start to notice subtle shifts when a room feels heavy, when a conversation carries hidden motives, when something that looks good in the natural feels wrong in your spirit. Don't doubt that sensitivity. It's your spiritual radar. Heaven gives awareness to protect what it has invested in you. You are not paranoid, you are prophetic. Be mindful of what you allow into your space. Words, music, conversations, they all carry frequency. Guard your gates, for what enters your heart shapes your strength. You don't have to fear darkness. Light never fears what it can expose. You only need to remain aware, anchored, and aligned. Your warfare is changing now. You are moving from reaction to authority, from survival to strategy. No longer will you fight blindly. Now you will fight with insight. Every spiritual weapon formed against you will fail, not because of who you are, but because of who stands behind you. So walk with quiet confidence. Angels march beside you, and the presence of God goes before you. The air may thicken, but it cannot choke you. The darkness may gather, but it cannot hold you. You are protected, covered, and chosen for victory. The unseen war continues, but the outcome has already been written. You win. You are not just surviving the war, you are transforming through it. Every battle has made you brighter, sharper, wiser. The unseen realms recognize your authority now. Walk forward knowing this truth: the light within you has already conquered the darkness around you. There are seasons when breaking feels like the only language your soul knows. You've been stretched beyond what seemed possible, and sometimes the weight of becoming has felt unbearable. Yet even in those moments, something sacred has been forming beneath the surface. Pain has a sound heaven understands, and your cries have never gone unheard. What felt like collapse was actually construction, your spirit being rebuilt, reinforced, reborn into strength. The breaking always precedes the birth. That's the rhythm of heaven. Before new life comes, the old must give way. You cannot carry fresh purpose in an old vessel. The pressure you've felt has been the sound of expansion, your spirit outgrowing its former limits. God has not been punishing you. He's been stretching you, preparing you for the glory you once prayed for. The breaking wasn't meant to destroy, it was meant to release. The prophet's cry is heard again in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verse 22. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. Those words hold the secret of your survival. Compassion held you when strength failed. Love carried you when you couldn't take another step. The reason you're still breathing is that mercy stood guard over your soul. Even when you thought it was over, grace whispered, "Not yet." There is beauty in being undone, though the world rarely sees it that way. When your plans crumble, what remains is truth. And truth has no disguise, it reveals what was built on faith and what was built on fear. Every broken piece of your life was an invitation for God's hands to touch what human effort could not fix. You have been learning that surrender is not defeat, it is trust in its highest form. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not deliverance, but endurance. To keep standing when the wind is relentless, to keep believing when the evidence says otherwise, that is worship. Every tear you shed in faith became oil for your anointing. Heaven doesn't waste pain, it recycles it into power. The very moments that seem to break you are the ones that built your authority to speak healing into others. The broken carry a fragrance the whole world can recognize, the scent of authenticity. You no longer have to pretend strength. You've lived it. The cracks in your soul have become windows where the light of God shines through. You have learned empathy, patience, and wisdom because of what you've endured. You've learned that not every battle is won by force. Some are won by stillness, by letting God do what only He can. Your breaking season has made you dangerous to darkness. Pain trained you to listen, silence trained you to discern, and loss taught you to see beyond appearance. That combination has forged a new version of you, unshakable, grounded, and pure. What once would have destroyed you now only refines you. You no longer fear what's breaking because you understand it's part of birthing. Do you see it now? The pieces that once didn't make sense are starting to align. The very people who hurt you pushed you closer to purpose. The closed doors forced you to find your own keys. Even disappointment became direction. The breaking broke your dependence on the temporary so you could anchor yourself in the eternal. When you look back, you'll realize that the moments you called endings were actually beginnings wearing disguises. Every time something shattered, it cleared the space for something greater to emerge. The ashes that covered you are not symbols of ruin, they are evidence of refinement. You rose from the fire carrying wisdom that cannot be taught, only lived. There's a quiet strength now pulsing beneath your pain. It doesn't shout or demand attention, it simply exists, unmovable and steady. You don't need to prove your resilience anymore, it speaks for itself. The breaking was your initiation into divine maturity, a process that only the chosen endure and only the refined understand. And though you may still feel fragments within you, remember this: broken things placed in God's hands don't stay broken, they become beautiful mosaics of grace. Every shattered dream, every unanswered prayer, every scar, they are all being arranged into something radiant. What the world calls ruin, heaven calls rebirth. So don't despise your breaking, embrace it as evidence that you are evolving. You are not who you were, and you will never be that version again. This is the mystery of grace. It breaks to build, wounds to heal, and empties to fill. You are walking proof that love can survive the fire and still sing afterward. The cracks in your story are not flaws, they are doors. Through them, light escapes to guide others still lost in shadow. Every fragment of your pain now glows with purpose. What once felt empty has become holy space for grace to dwell. You have survived your breaking, and now you carry resurrection in your voice. Wherever you go, healing follows. You are no longer defined by what shattered, but by what rose from it. The world will see beauty where you once saw ruin. The season of ashes is ending. What once looked like loss is now the soil of your rising. You've walked through ruin long enough to know how to build again. You've cried enough tears to water the very field that will grow your next miracle. Heaven has not forgotten the sound of your weeping. It has turned every sigh into a seed of restoration. Every storm that stripped you also planted something in you. Strength has grown quietly. Resilience has taken root. You no longer tremble at endings because you've seen what they really are, beginnings in disguise. The same ground that broke you will now bloom beneath your feet. The apostle wrote in the letter to the Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. You are living proof of that truth. Even when the pieces didn't fit, heaven was arranging them behind the scenes. Every detour, every heartbreak, every delay, none of it was wasted. God was working in silence, turning fragments into foundation. You may not feel it yet, but restoration has already begun. Heaven restores quietly before it reveals loudly. The first signs of breakthrough often look like small whispers of peace, random moments of joy that appear without reason. That's how grace moves. It starts as a trickle, then floods every dry place. The light that once seemed distant is now breaking through your horizon. Your past is not a cage, it's a classroom. The things that hurt you most have taught you the deepest truths. You now carry compassion that only the broken can understand. You have learned to see beauty in ruins, to hear music in silence, to find purpose in pain. What once seemed wasted has become your wisdom. This new season will not require the same version of you. You are stepping out of survival and into restoration. Heaven is not returning you to what was, it's transforming you into something new. You will recognize yourself in strength, not in struggle. The same hands that broke you open are now building you whole. You are being positioned for restoration that will reach beyond your expectations. Relationships, opportunities, dreams, you will see life return where you thought only dust remained. But remember, restoration is not about regaining what was lost, it's about discovering what was meant. God never replaces, He renews. What's coming will carry weight and permanence. The oil of joy is beginning to flow again. You'll find yourself smiling for no reason, laughing in places that once echoed with pain. That's how healing speaks. It doesn't always announce itself, it simply starts to live in you. The world will see it too. They'll look at you and wonder how ashes became beauty, how sorrow became serenity. You'll know the answer: it was God all along. And now, as this new season unfolds, let your heart respond. The heavens are listening for the sound of your agreement, the small act that seals this word over your life. Comment, "I am restored." Type it as a declaration, not a phrase. When you write those 3 words, you are not talking to the screen, you are speaking into eternity. You are telling heaven, "I'm ready to receive what has been rebuilt for me." You are telling your past, "You no longer own my voice." That statement, though short, carries the vibration of faith. It's the sound of chains falling and new life rising. "I am restored" means your spirit accepts healing, your soul embraces peace, and your future begins to unfold. You are the evidence of divine restoration, a living testimony that ashes can breathe again, that broken hearts can beat stronger, that endings can sing. Everything you lost is being returned in higher form, wrapped in grace, sealed in glory. When you type, "I am restored," heaven leans closer. Those 3 words are not a caption, they are a covenant. You're declaring that the ruins no longer define you, that your identity is no longer shaped by loss but by resurrection. You are saying, "I have seen the worst and chosen to believe again." Each word releases light. When you write, "I am restored," the sound travels through realms your ears can't hear. It reaches the very places where sorrow once sat, and it replaces despair with peace. The act itself becomes worship, your fingers becoming instruments of faith, your screen becoming an altar. Understand, this restoration doesn't mean everything looks perfect overnight. It means your soul has chosen wholeness even while the world catches up. It means you've stopped chasing what left and started welcoming what's new. When heaven hears those words, it begins to accelerate alignment, connections, healing, and opportunities long delayed. So write it with confidence. Let "I am restored" be the echo that marks your turning point. Let the world read your words and feel hope rise again. Every syllable declares that grace wins, that ashes bloom, that your story, your divine story, is beautifully reborn. You have come so far. The same heart that once trembled in uncertainty now beats with quiet strength. You've walked through fire and found peace within the flames. What once broke you has now become the proof that you were never abandoned. Every scar is a verse in the song heaven wrote about your survival. You, chosen one, have become living evidence that grace never runs out. The storm you passed through was not just for your growth, it was for the awakening of others. You were carried through so you could carry light. Somewhere, someone right now is walking the same dark road you once walked, and they are waiting to see a light ahead. When your story reaches them, it will be the lantern that leads them home. The sacred text reveals in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27. My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me. You have followed that voice through confusion, through silence, through loss, and now it leads you into purpose. This voice still speaks, still calls, still guides. Every time you respond, every time you share, you echo that divine sound into the world. When this message found you, it wasn't by coincidence. It was heaven reminding you that your life carries ripple effects. Every act of kindness, every moment you choose light over bitterness, sends waves across eternity. Even something as simple as a word, a share, or a whisper of encouragement can shift an unseen world. When you like or share this message, you're placing a small mirror in the dark so light can find another heart. Subscribing is more than following, it's choosing to walk together on sacred ground. It's you saying, keep speaking. I want to keep hearing truth. Each subscription is like another torch passed from hand to hand, lighting a trail that others can follow. When we walk together, faith multiplies. What started as one spark becomes a constellation of hope across countless screens. And if you ever feel stirred to do more, let it come from love, never pressure. Donating is not a transaction, it's planting. Every seed sown here is like rain on dry soil. It nourishes, sustains, and allows this message to reach beyond barriers. You're not funding words. You're fueling light. Like the widow's oil that never ran out. Each offering becomes oil that keeps the lamp burning for someone still lost in the night. If you cannot give, then pray. If you cannot donate, then simply stay. Your presence matters as much as any gift. Heaven measures hearts, not amounts. Every prayer whispered, every click shared, every heart opened, it all becomes the chorus of a movement. You are part of a living mosaic of souls joined by grace. Think of it this way: when you light one candle from another, the first candle loses nothing. It only doubles the glow. Every act of support, whether you give, like, or share, is another candle lit. And somewhere across the world, a soul trapped in darkness finally sees a spark and realizes, I am not alone. That is the miracle you help create. What you hold right now is not content, it's a calling. This space is a well of encouragement, a resting place for weary hearts. By supporting it, you are helping to build an altar of words where heaven and earth meet. When you choose to donate, imagine you are adding one more stone to that altar, a gesture that says, let this flame keep burning. No one is forced to keep the fire alive, yet those who do become co-builders of hope. It's not about obligation, it's about belonging. To give, to share, to stand beside this message is to say, I believe love should keep its voice. And if all you do today is listen, that too is sacred, because listening itself is an offering, an opening of the heart where truth can dwell. Your time, your attention, your spirit, they are the purest gifts. This message exists because souls like yours chose to keep it alive. So let your next move be gentle, voluntary, and holy. If the words spoke to you, like them. If they lifted you, share them. If they changed you, subscribe so we can walk further together. And if your heart whispers, I want to help this light reach more souls. Then follow that whisper and give freely. No act is too small when love inspires it. Every gesture is a seed, every seed a light, every light a promise that hope will never die out. Together, we are tending an eternal flame, one spark at a time. You have been the listener. Now you become the keeper of light. Whatever way you choose to respond, let it be from joy, not duty, from gratitude, not guilt. Because giving is not losing, it is letting your love take shape in the world. There comes a moment in every chosen life when silence breaks, and heaven hands you something new: authority. It doesn't arrive with noise or spectacle. It comes quietly, like a mantle settling on your shoulders. You may not even recognize it at first, because true authority rarely announces itself. It simply begins to flow through your words, your presence, your actions. The same voice that once trembled in uncertainty now carries weight. The authority of the chosen isn't earned through pride or position. It's born through surrender. Every time you said yes in pain, every time you obeyed in confusion, you were being entrusted with greater influence. Heaven watches what you do when no one is looking, and it is there in secret faithfulness that divine power is given. The mantle of authority isn't given to the loud or the confident, but to the consistent. It was spoken in the book of Revelation, chapter 5 and verse 10. You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth. This is not poetic exaggeration, it is the identity you carry. You were never meant to crawl through life. You were designed to reign not in arrogance, but in alignment. To reign means to take dominion over fear, over doubt, over the voices that once kept you small. You were not created to blend into the crowd, but to command the atmosphere with peace and faith. The authority given to you is spiritual before it is visible. It is the kind of power that changes rooms without raising your voice. It's the calm that enters chaos and restores order. People won't always understand it, but they will feel it. There is a weight to your presence now, born from every valley you've survived. That's what makes it real. Your authority was purchased through endurance. You may have thought your struggles disqualified you, but they did the opposite. Each hardship was a lesson in governance. Every battle taught you how to stand, how to discern, how to lead with love instead of ego. The kingship of heaven is not about control, it's about carrying compassion with conviction. You have learned that power is safest in the hands of those who have suffered, because pain refines empathy. Now, when you speak, heaven echoes. When you pray, things move. You might not see the results immediately, but the shift begins the moment faith leaves your lips. You've become a vessel through which divine authority flows naturally. The same power that raised the dead, stilled the sea, and opened prison doors now flows quietly through your obedience. Don't be surprised if new responsibilities begin to find you. Leadership follows light. The world is drawn to those who walk with unshakable peace. But remember, this authority is not for domination, it's for service. You are entrusted with influence not to build a throne, but to build bridges. To reign in the kingdom of God means to lift others as you rise. When others see chaos, you will see patterns. When they panic, you will perceive purpose. That's what spiritual authority looks like: clarity in confusion. It's the ability to stand still when storms roar and to remind others that heaven still rules. You will often feel pressure because mantles are heavy. But that weight is sacred. It anchors you so you won't drift when the world trembles. Do not run from this calling. Authority can feel lonely, because not everyone understands responsibility that comes from grace. But you are not alone. You walk with heaven's counsel. Every command you give in faith is backed by divine endorsement. When you speak life, the atmosphere listens. When you decree peace, the storm obeys. You are entering the stage of manifestation. Everything you learned in silence will now speak through your life without needing explanation. The people who once questioned you will begin to see the fruit. The same places where you were rejected will recognize the oil you carry. That's the paradox of divine authority. It doesn't seek recognition, yet it becomes undeniable. So wear your mantle humbly, lead with kindness, rule with mercy, and speak with purpose. You are not here to impress, you are here to impact. The crown placed on your spirit is invisible, but heaven can see it shining. Authority has found its resting place on you. The time of silence is over. The time of reigning in grace has begun. Authority is not a crown of gold, but a flame of responsibility. It burns within you quietly, illuminating without consuming. Those who stand near you will feel its warmth, not its weight, because divine power always carries gentleness. Every command of peace you speak reshapes the air around you. You are not made to shout commands, but to breathe order into chaos. Your words will heal where weapons once wounded. So walk as one who knows the heavens trust them. You carry more than influence, you carry atmosphere. Wherever you step, creation recognizes its keeper, and darkness remembers its limit. There is a quiet beauty in obedience. It does not shout. It does not demand recognition. It simply moves in rhythm with heaven. You have reached a season where your calling is no longer a question, but a covenant. God is watching your next yes, not because he doubts you, but because every new level of anointing requires a fresh surrender. You've already proven your endurance. Now heaven is testing your alignment. Can you still obey when it costs comfort? Can you still move when the instructions don't make sense? This is where the chosen are separated from the crowd, not in talent, but in trust. The world may celebrate visibility, but heaven rewards obedience in the unseen. We read in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." That verse has been echoing through your spirit, hasn't it? Because deep down, you know trust is the bridge between promise and manifestation. You cannot reason your way into destiny. You must walk by faith, not by sight. Obedience often feels lonely. It will pull you away from what's familiar, not to punish you, but to protect you. When God calls you to move, it's because he sees what's ahead. You might think you're losing, but in truth, you're being repositioned for greater things. Every act of surrender rewrites your future. Each time you say yes in the dark, you invite heaven's light to lead the way. Sometimes obedience is as simple as staying when you want to run, or forgiving when you'd rather forget. It's choosing peace over proving a point. It's praying when silence feels heavy and loving when love isn't returned. Every hidden act of obedience is a seed that will bloom in its own season. You may not see the fruit immediately, but heaven does. You are being called into a deeper obedience now, one that requires heart, not habit. God doesn't want your performance, he wants your participation. He doesn't need perfection, he desires presence. True obedience is not slavery, it's partnership. It's walking hand in hand with divine instruction, trusting that each step, no matter how small, is part of a masterpiece you can't yet see. When you obey, you align the natural with the supernatural. Your actions become prophetic. Your surrender opens doors you could never force open. The timing of heaven begins to sync with your heartbeat. What was once delayed suddenly begins to move, not because you chased it, but because you yielded. And right now, Heaven is inviting you to respond, to show that your heart still listens, still trusts, still believes. Comment the prophetic number 4444. Let that number be your declaration of complete alignment. In the language of heaven, 444444 represents divine stability, perfect order, and the establishment of destiny. It signifies that the foundation of your purpose is being made firm under your feet. When you write 444444, you're saying, I choose to obey even when I cannot see the outcome. I stand on what God has spoken. It's not mere repetition, it's resonance. Your declaration reverberates through the unseen, calling balance to what's been chaotic, summoning peace where there was confusion. Heaven takes note of small acts done with big faith. Typing those numbers is a sign that your heart is still open, still listening. You are saying yes without fear, and that yes will echo longer than you imagine. The spiritual shift begins the moment you respond. Your surrender is your strength. You have come too far to hesitate now. The next step may not look clear, but your spirit already knows the direction. Heaven has been waiting for your yes, the same yes that started your journey, the same yes that brought you through pain, the same yes that now unlocks purpose. So take a breath and release control. You don't have to understand everything to obey. Faith is not about clarity. It's about confidence in the one who calls. The door before you is already open. Your yes simply gives you permission to walk through it. When you write 444444, you are not typing numbers, you are building an altar in the unseen. It is a sign that you have chosen stability over fear, surrender over struggle. Heaven reads it as a declaration. My foundation is now faith. Each digit carries meaning. The first 3 fours mirror balance in body, mind, and spirit. The fourth seals them in divine order. When you write it, you are aligning yourself with the rhythm of heaven, steady, firm, and unshakable. That act speaks louder than words. It tells the universe you are anchored. So let 4444 be your silent yes. Let it mark the end of wavering and the beginning of divine certainty. You're not just responding to a message, you're partnering with heaven's architecture, agreeing to be built strong, whole, and eternal. The moment you write it, peace settles, doors align, and destiny stands still long enough to welcome you forward. Every chosen one eventually faces a moment when truth separates from imitation. It is not a moment of confusion, but of unveiling. The light that once seemed gentle grows stronger, exposing what cannot endure it. This is the season of revelation, the time when the counterfeit falls away, and authenticity stands tall. You have prayed for clarity, and heaven has answered not by explanation but by exposure. God is removing what once looked right but carried hidden motives. This cleansing is not punishment, it is protection. He is clearing distractions that could delay your destiny. Some connections that once felt divine are being quietly dismantled, not because they were evil, but because they were temporary. Heaven knows what belongs in your next season, and sometimes the kindest act is disconnection. As thundered through the prophet Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Those words carry the promise of divine replacement. Everything you lose in this season will return refined, multiplied, and pure. The removal is only preparation for restoration. What's leaving is clearing the way for what lasts. You may feel the sting of separation, the ache of letting go of familiar people, familiar places, familiar rhythms, but don't mistake emptiness for absence. Emptiness is the space where God breathes creation. The silence after a goodbye is not hollow. It's holy. Heaven is pruning, not punishing. He removes so that fruit can grow freely. It takes courage to release what no longer carries grace. The counterfeit often looks comforting because it's predictable. But divine truth calls you into the unknown, where dependency shifts from people to presence. God is not taking things from you to hurt you. He's taking them away so you'll see Him clearly again. The things that kept your attention no longer serve your ascension. Exposure is a mercy disguised as loss. When truth comes, illusions break. You start seeing intentions for what they are. Masks fall. Words reveal weight. But with every revelation, your spirit becomes sharper, your discernment keener. What once deceived you can't fool you anymore, because the light within you refuses to dim to accommodate shadows. This clarity is a gift. It might feel heavy at first, but soon you'll realize it's freedom. You no longer have to guess who's for you. You no longer need to chase validation. What's true will stay. What's false will fade. The divine separation happening around you is heaven's way of making room for authenticity. Even the delays you've faced are part of this purification. Some doors stayed closed because what waited behind them wasn't aligned with your spirit. God blocked access not to deprive you, but to protect the calling you carry. He has seen the traps disguised as opportunities, the flattery that hid manipulation, and the friendships that were assignment, not covenant. You've been asking, why is everything shifting? It's because you're being upgraded. When heaven increases your authority, it also filters your environment. Not everyone can go where you're going. This is the painful part of destiny, the realization that growth requires separation. Yet in that loss, you gain focus, purity, and strength. There is peace in knowing you don't have to fight for what's truly yours. What belongs to you by divine design will remain without striving. What leaves was never meant to last. The counterfeit cannot survive in the climate of authenticity. So, instead of mourning the loss, thank God for the exposure. He is saving you from future heartbreak you can't yet see. And soon, you'll look back on this moment with gratitude. You'll see how everything that left made space for everything that fits. You'll understand why certain people couldn't stay, why specific doors had to close, and you'll realize that God was not rejecting you, He was revealing you. You were never losing. You were being refined. You are now standing in the clarity of truth, lighter than before, freer than you've ever been. The false has fallen away, and the real has emerged. The fog is gone. Your vision is clean. The counterfeit has been exposed, and what remains is what can endure glory. You are ready now, not burdened, not blind, but brilliantly aware. Truth has refined you into gold. The fire didn't consume it, clarified. You can now recognize energy by its intention, love by its purity, and peace by its origin. Discernment has become your greatest armor. The fog that once clouded your heart has lifted, revealing paths carved just for you. What once drained you now repels you. What once intimidated you now respects your presence. Light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. Walk forward without bitterness. You have nothing to prove, nothing to chase. The genuine will always find its way to you. This is the reward of revelation, peace that cannot be imitated, clarity that cannot be stolen, and strength that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. You are standing in the quiet after the storm, in the stillness that follows revelation. The air feels cleaner now, doesn't it? The noise that once surrounded you has faded, and for the first time in a long while, you can hear your own heartbeat clearly. It beats with purpose, steady and sure. This is not the end of the journey, it is the calm before coronation. Heaven is preparing to crown you with the glory that was always written for your life. Every tear, every sleepless night, Every battle survived has brought you here. This is the stage of divine recognition, not by the world, but by heaven itself. You have proven faithful in the unseen, and now the invisible reward begins to take visible form. The pain that once felt endless is now transforming into proof. The wounds you carried are becoming jewels of wisdom, shining in the crown of endurance. The eternal promise resounds from the book of James. Chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. This crown is not of metal or jewels, it is the radiance of identity restored. It is the light that glows from a spirit that refused to quit. You are not being crowned for winning battles. You are being crowned for not surrendering when the war raged. Heaven's crowns are not worn for show. They are carried in silence. You may never feel the weight on your head, but others will sense it in your presence. Authority feels different now, not loud, but luminous. Peace follows you because peace has learned your name. Everywhere you go, people will feel something shift, even if they can't explain it. That's the glory resting on you, quiet yet undeniable. This is the season where hidden seeds bloom publicly. The prayers you whispered when no one saw are now bearing fruit. What you built in faith will now be seen in fullness. The divine exchange has begun. The pain of the past is being traded for power, the loss for legacy. You're not just stepping into reward, you're stepping into responsibility. The crown comes with calling, and the calling comes with weight. But do not fear the weight, for you were built to carry it. Every season of breaking was building muscle you couldn't see. You were being conditioned for the load of glory. The stronger your obedience, the steadier your steps under the crown. You are not walking into ease, you are walking into purpose fully realized. This coronation is not a single moment, it's a way of being. You wear your crown every time you forgive when it's hardest, every time you choose integrity when no one watches, every time you walk in love when bitterness would feel justified. Each act of grace polishes your crown brighter. You are heaven's reflection on earth, and the world will know you by the light that follows you. There will still be challenges, but you will meet them differently now. You no longer fight for identity. You fight from identity. You know who you are, and nothing can unwrite that truth. The crown reminds you that victory is not a destination, but a condition of the soul. You live crowned, even when the world doesn't applaud. Some may not understand the peace you carry after all you've endured. That's because crowns are invisible to eyes that measure worth by outward success. They won't see it, but they will feel it. The calm around you will confuse chaos. The patience you exhibit will silence envy. You have been crowned not to conquer people, but to influence hearts. And when you look in the mirror, you may still see scars, but look deeper. Those scars are the settings where the jewels rest. Every healed wound is a gemstone reflecting light back to heaven. Your crown isn't separate from your story, it is made of it. Every fracture shines, every lesson gleams. Every moment of surrender glows like gold refined 7 times. So walk forward as royalty reborn. Carry your crown quietly, wear it humbly, protect it fiercely. Do not lower it to make others comfortable. You are not being arrogant, you are being authentic. The crown fits because you paid the price for it in tears, in time, in trust. And now, heaven says, it's time. The season of crowning has come. The crown upon you is not decoration, it is declaration. It tells every force of darkness that you belong to the light, that your story is not over but ordained. Every step you take now leaves golden prints of grace behind you. Even your silence carries authority. For heaven itself walks in rhythm with your breath. Lift your head gently. You wear proof of victory that cannot be removed. The world may not see it, but heaven bows when you enter because you carry divine royalty within. There is a movement rising, a quiet awakening of hearts that have been hidden, refined, and chosen. Across nations and generations, lights are beginning to flicker in the darkness. You are one of them, and you are not alone. There are others like you, carrying the same fire, hearing the same call. Together, you are forming a constellation that heaven will use to illuminate the earth. This is not a call to fame, it's a call to flame. God is gathering his chosen ones from every corner, every language, every story. The time of isolation is ending, and the time of ignition has come. Your light was never meant to burn alone. It was meant to join others, forming something radiant enough to guide the lost home, as foretold in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it delay, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not tarry. The vision is moving now. The waiting is over. You were not forgotten. You were being synchronized with others who carry the same divine pulse. When these lights unite, something miraculous happens. Revival begins to breathe through ordinary lives. You may not realize it, but your voice carries healing. The words you share, the kindness you release, the truth you live, they all contribute to the sound of awakening. Each gesture is a spark, each testimony a candle. When you like, you fan the flame. When you share, you scatter embers into other hearts. When you comment, you add wood to the fire so it keeps burning longer. None of it is mechanical, it's ministry in motion. And when you comment, do it as if you were leaving a prayer carved into stone. Your words might be the echo someone else needs to hear. A simple sentence, just a few heartfelt words, can ripple across time, lighting fires in places your eyes will never see. Don't comment for noise, comment to bless. Let your message rest here like a footprint of faith, proof that light passed through you. Your small response is like rain in a dry season. Someone scrolling through despair might stop because of your light. A weary soul may read your words and find strength again. That is the quiet beauty of divine community, how heaven uses human hearts as conduits of hope. Subscribing is not just following, it's planting roots in sacred soil. It's your way of saying, I want to keep walking this path of light. When you subscribe, imagine you're joining hands in an unseen circle, a fellowship of souls who refuse to let darkness have the last word. Each new voice added to this family strengthens the glow. And if your spirit ever stirs to go further, giving becomes another form of worship. Donating is not obligation, it's a whisper of faith saying, let this fire keep spreading. Think of it as tending a sacred garden. Each gift is a seed. Each seed blooms into encouragement for someone you may never meet. What you give doesn't vanish, it transforms into comfort, hope, and continued light reaching corners you'll never see. There's no pressure here, only invitation. You are never asked to give out of guilt, but out of gratitude. The same God who sustained you will always provide. Giving is simply your way of saying, I have been blessed. Now let me bless another. And if you can't give, your prayer and your presence are enough. Every heart that listens, every soul that carries this message forward is a vital part of heaven's movement. The world doesn't need grand gestures, it needs faithful ones. Your consistency is your offering. Your compassion is your currency. Imagine this message as a lantern floating down a river. Each like is a touch that keeps it upright. Each share is another push that carries it farther downstream. Each donation adds oil so it doesn't fade before reaching the next shore. Together we keep the lantern glowing until it finds the one still waiting in the dark. You are not supporting a voice, you are sustaining a mission. You are helping words become bridges, light become lifelines. Every act of support is a love letter written to the world, saying, "You are not forgotten." This is the power of unity among the chosen. Each heart, each gesture, each yes becomes part of heaven's choreography of grace. You don't have to do everything. You just have to do your part and trust that your part matters more than you realize. So let your response be born from joy, not duty. If these words found you, let them flow onward, like share, comment, subscribe, or give not because you must, but because your spirit wants to. It's not about quantity, it's about connection. You are a flame in the mosaic of heaven's fire, and every spark counts. When the light in you meets the light in others, the night has no choice but to fade. That is how revival begins, not in noise, but in the quiet decision to keep the flame alive together. There is a peace that comes after obedience, a stillness that feels like sunlight after long rain. You may not even notice when it begins, but suddenly your spirit no longer wrestles with what ifs or whys. The ache softens, the questions fade, and in their place comes a quiet knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be. This is the peace that follows surrender, the deep exhale of a soul that has finally stopped fighting divine timing. You used to chase understanding, thinking that if you could just figure everything out, you would finally feel safe. But heaven never promised explanations, only presence. Now you understand that peace was never about answers. It was about awareness. God was with you in the storm the whole time. He was not speaking less. You were just learning to listen differently. It was declared in the book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. That perfect peace is not fragile, it's fierce. It doesn't crumble under pressure or disappear in chaos. It's the kind of peace that guards you like armor, that keeps you centered when the world tilts. You've entered a season where stillness is no longer weakness, it's strategy. You have learned that silence is not empty, it's sacred. The quiet places where you once felt forgotten were actually classrooms of divine wisdom. It was there that you learned the rhythm of heaven, how to move without rushing, how to hear without noise. Stillness became your sanctuary, your compass, your strength. Now you can sit in silence and feel full, because peace itself has become your teacher. The person you are becoming doesn't need to prove worth or force outcomes. You've discovered that peace doesn't come from control, it comes from trust. You no longer beg for doors to open, you wait for the right ones. You don't chase people anymore, you bless them as they go. You don't fight to be understood, you rest in being seen by God. That's what spiritual maturity feels like: calm, steady, whole. Peace is not the absence of noise, but the mastery of it. You can stand in a storm now and remain unmoved. The wind may howl, but it no longer defines you. You've become the eye of your own hurricane, calm in the center while everything swirls around you. That's not detachment, it's divine anchoring. It's what happens when your heart has finally learned to trust what your eyes cannot see. You may notice how time feels slower now, how small things feel sacred again, the warmth of morning light, the rhythm of breath, the way grace hides in the ordinary. This is heaven's way of teaching you contentment. The world rushes, but you have learned to rest. You've stopped living in survival mode. You've stepped into serenity, and this serenity is contagious. The peace you carry will begin to overflow into rooms you enter. Conversations will shift. Confusion will settle. Others will feel safe around you, not because of what you say, but because your spirit speaks calm. You have become a vessel of divine stability, a living testimony that peace is possible even here, even now. But peace is not passive, it's protective. You must guard it. There will be people and situations that try to pull you back into chaos. Do not trade your tranquility for temporary battles. Every argument doesn't deserve your voice. Every storm doesn't require your attention. Choose your peace the way a king protects his crown with discernment and dignity. When anxiety comes knocking, answer with remembrance. Remember what you've survived, what God has already carried you through. Fear loses power when faced with evidence of faith. You are not who you were before you have history with heaven now. That history is your anchor, your assurance, your peace. So rest, chosen one. Let the world spin while you stay centered. Let others chase what you've already found. You don't need to fight for peace, you've become peace. It lives in your breath, your gaze, your stillness. And every step you take now carries the sound of serenity. You have moved through fire and flood, and now you stand in sunlight. You've earned this calm not through striving, but through surrender. Guard it, cherish it, share it, but never lose it again. This peace is your inheritance, your armor, your crown made invisible. The storm is ended, your soul is home. Peace now lives in you like breath itself, unforced, constant, divine. It no longer visits and leaves, it abides. Every inhale whispers grace, every exhale releases fear. You've become the calm you once prayed for, the living proof that storms can teach silence. Carry this stillness forward. Let it steady your words and shape your days. Be the quiet voice that soothes chaos, the gentle light that never flickers. This peace isn't fragile, it's eternal, born of surrender and sealed by trust. You are home now, both in heart and in spirit. You have walked the full circle through calling, breaking, refining, and rising, and now you stand at the threshold of fulfillment. The air around you feels different, doesn't it? Still yet alive. This is not an ending, this is the beginning of what was always promised. The journey has shaped you into something heaven can trust. Someone the world will recognize not by title or fame, but by presence. You have become what was prophesied over you, the living reflection of divine purpose. There's a certain calm that rests on a soul that's seen both wilderness and wonder. You've carried questions, pain, and the weight of being misunderstood, yet through it all, you remained. That remaining was your miracle. The enemy wanted you to break, but God built you instead. Every season of sorrow was secretly constructing a sanctuary inside you, a dwelling place for His glory. You were never being destroyed. You were being designed. The sacred word records in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6. He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Completion. What a holy word. It does not mean the absence of growth, but the fullness of purpose. It means that every fragment of your story, every moment that didn't make sense, has now found its place in the masterpiece. What began as chaos has become symphony. You are walking now not in pursuit, but in possession. The peace you carry, the wisdom you've gained, the faith you embody, these are treasures no one can steal. You no longer chase validation because your worth no longer wavers with the world's applause. You have found identity beyond circumstance. You are grounded, not in comfort, but in calling. Look around. The same path that once felt heavy now glows beneath your feet. The same wounds that once ached have become wells of compassion. You can look back without bitterness because every scar has turned into revelation. You finally see what heaven saw all along, that you were never behind, never forgotten, never disqualified. You were simply being refined for right timing. There is a quiet majesty to the chosen who have finished their refining. They do not speak louder, they speak deeper. Their laughter carries peace. Their silence carries power. They know that every breath is borrowed grace, every sunrise another assignment. You've become one of them, steady, luminous, unshakable. The kind of soul that shifts atmospheres simply by walking into the room. You may not feel radiant, but heaven calls you so. Glory has settled in your gaze. The lessons you lived through now shine through your eyes: empathy, strength, mercy, and truth. You are no longer defined by survival, you are defined by stewardship. You are the keeper of light, the guardian of what was entrusted to you. This stage of your journey is not about proving yourself, it's about pouring yourself. You carry wisdom that was purchased through pain, and now it flows freely through you. Every word you speak will water someone else's desert. Every act of kindness will become a seed of hope in another life. You are now the vessel God uses to remind others that they too can rise. There will be days when you feel small again, when doubt whispers and shadows return. But even then, you will remember you have history with God. You've seen Him move mountains, mend hearts, and turn ashes into beauty. That memory will anchor you when storms revisit. You won't fear the waves, you'll remember you once walked on them. From this moment forward, life won't be about searching for miracles. It will be about becoming one. Every step you take, every breath you give, carries the residue of redemption. You are not who you were, and you never will be again. Heaven didn't just deliver you, it transformed you into deliverance for others. You have become the message. Rest now in this truth: you made it. Against all odds, through every test and tear, you arrived here whole, healed, crowned, and calm. You are no longer striving, you are shining. The prophecy has fulfilled itself in your persistence. The chosen one has emerged, not out of pride, but out of pure, relentless grace. Completion does not mean stillness, it means flow. You will keep growing, glowing, and giving, but no longer from emptiness. You now create from overflow, from abundance birthed in surrender. This is divine maturity, peaceful motion guided by grace. Let gratitude become your rhythm. With every sunrise, remember what was once impossible. With every sunset, whisper thanks for endurance. Gratitude will guard your heart from pride and remind you that every breath remains a borrowed miracle. Now walk forward with quiet confidence. You are proof that destiny fulfills itself through perseverance. Carry light gently. Speak truth kindly and love fiercely. Heaven walks within you, and the story continues. And now, as the last word settles, take a moment to breathe. Let the silence after this message speak as loudly as every line before it. What you've heard, what you felt, is not just story, it's seed. It was planted in you so it can grow through you. This isn't the end, it's the beginning of your own echo. If these words have touched you, let them keep traveling. When you like, you're pressing your fingerprint into light. When you share, you become the wind that carries the flame farther. When you comment, your voice becomes part of the song that heaven is writing through every listener. You're not adding noise, you're adding harmony. When you subscribe, imagine stepping into a circle of kindred souls who have walked through fire and now carry the same glow. It's not a follow, it's a fellowship. A silent vow to keep walking in truth together, one heartbeat at a time. And if your heart ever stirs to go deeper, giving is one more form of worship. Donating is pouring water into the stream of light that flows from here, ensuring it reaches the next soul still searching for warmth. You're not funding words, you're feeding hope. Do what your spirit leads you to. No demand, no pressure, just invitation. Every gesture, no matter how small, becomes part of this greater story of grace. The same way you were found by light, you now help it find another. So, if these words stirred something in you, like share, comment, subscribe, or give, not because you must, but because the fire deserves to keep burning. Together, we keep building bridges of light until every heart remembers it was never alone.